We have been in a fog, and as we've emerged, we see that the world's been pushed to the brink, and so have you. I'm Dr. David Owers, I'm the Doc of DeFi, and I invite you in a double major education, one of health, one of wealth, and how the two interact. So today I was thinking a little bit about the course of events in the last 20 to 30 years of my life. I don't know why that came about necessarily. It might have been something I saw just in passing that just got me to think about how things have been handled from a public education point of view, from an empowerment point of view. So I live here in Canada. I do also live part-time in the United States, but my childhood was here for the most part. And I remember a couple of things as a child that really hit me. They might not have been on a global scale, but for a kid, it made a big impact. The one thing that I remembered way back in early grade school was a program, the national program that they ran here in Canada called Participaction. And, it was a program that was basically aimed at children. It later got revived to try and target the adults, but they figured they should aim this program at children. It was a fitness movement. And they thought that if the kids could get onto it, that it would influence the families and influence family time. So it was a participation. It was a bit of an award system. You would go through these exercises, and depending on how far you got into it, it'd be a bit like the Olympics. You would get a bronze or a silver, a gold, or an excellence type of badge. Depending on how far you were able to get in participating with this. And for those people who were not competitive, there was always a pin of participation, and no one was forced to really get into the Olympic side of it. And I saw this as simply a competition, and I wanted to always overachieve, so of course I got the Award of Excellence, as many kids did. It wasn't that difficult to receive. And that's where it stopped for me. It was just this, from a kid's point of view, this big game. I didn't quite realize the impact it was trying to have on the entire population. But it was an effort by the powers that be to empower people, to educate people, to talk about something that was beneficial for them. And then shortly after, probably maybe 5 years later, I think Canada wanted to change to the metric system. So beforehand, we were dealing with the imperial system, and we were talking about miles and gallons, cups, and all of that kind of thing. And we still kind of do when it comes to cooking, believe it or not. But for and oven temperatures, we still talk about degrees Fahrenheit. But for everything else, we have basically adopted the Celsius system and sort of the metric system. And so we switched to kilometers, and we switched to meters, and we switched to a great many things. And again, at the time, there was a massive public education campaign, trying to rally everybody, trying to empower everybody, trying to help them with the transition, educate them. It just was another example, and I was older at the time, so when it was going on, I saw it for what it was, and I thought, okay, well, this is great. This is sort of the powers that be, governmental, institutional rallying of the country. And yes, it might not have been as impactful to people's health as the participation campaign, but then I saw the participation campaign for what it was when I was a bit older, and I thought, okay, this is cool. It's really interesting, though, and I'm not going to get into much, but you'll know what I'm talking about, the events of the last 2.5 years. It was very, very differently handled. Where was the public education campaign? Where was the empowerment of the individual? Where was the coming together as a group? Certainly wasn't there. And that's probably why I am so adamant about the metaverse, the blockchain, the crypto space, because it is a vehicle that is not going away. It is the future, regardless of what you might think of it. And it is a place where peer to peer can be empowered, where an individual can be empowered, where ideas can blossom and altruism can blossom. Yes, it's true. Other elements can also participate in this space, and the elements might not be as desirable. I don't see the world through rose-colored glasses, but in my opinion, you encourage what you wish, be the change, right? That famous quote. And so instead of saying, well, this is hopeless because there's other elements back there that aren't the greatest, just say, no, it's not hopeless. And the more of us that adopt this space that would like this empowerment, would like this harken back to a time when we all came together, and to a time when ideas can be easily expressed, and everyone had the freedom to do so. And you found your peeps, you found your tribe, you found like-minded people who wanted to better things. That would be something that I would want to work towards. And this is why I've actually put myself out there in this YouTube channel. And this is why I am trying to draw parallels between a space that you might not be familiar with, that you might actually write off as just a passing fad, and bring it to something that is a bit of a case study. The case study actually being you and all your familiarity with things, and to draw some parallels. And that's why I have taken this path that I'm on, with this way of relating things that might not be familiar to you to something that might be quite familiar to you, or to a process that is metaphorically the same, such that you can see that you can fit in. And so I hope that's the gist you've got. I hope that you continue on this path of discovery and entering into the space. Again, finding out the kind of crypto personality, let's say, or financial personality or comfort level that you are, and being true to that. Because no matter who you are, there's a way in. No matter who you are, there's a way to integrate here. And if I am making it a bit easier with these analogies and these parallels that I'm trying to draw, that's great. And I'll continue to do so. So we'll catch you on the next videos, but give it some thought. Think about some times maybe in your life where, certain mass education campaigns or mass campaigns of any sort surrounded you, and where you felt good about it, where you felt that this was just a coming together. And let's propagate that in this new 3.0 way of looking at things. All right, we'll catch you on the next video.